So how's it going, my Comic Army? We're here today with Andre Daniels, the creator of Treble, The Rhythm Within. How you doing, Andre?
I'm doing well, Cody. It's been a while, my brother. I'm glad to be back.
It's
Glad to
been
be back
too
with you.
long.
Indeed, indeed.
So what have you been doing over the last 3 years we haven't talked?
Oh, good Lord. God, it's been that long. So since the
Yeah.
last time that we spoke publicly on your channel, I was just newly releasing Treble. I guess that was early issues.
Mhm.
Um, Ever since then, I've released 8 issues since then, and now I'm actually finished creating the trade paperback, and I am currently running an Indiegogo campaign as we speak to actually get the prints funded. It's been a heck of a wild run over the last few years.
So what are you going to do after the 8 issues? You're going to keep it going?
So absolutely. So once this campaign is in the books, I've already started writing the next series. I'm very excited about it thus far. It is far from being done. Let me put that in big bold letters. Far from being done, but it's going to be entitled "Treble: Rise of the Children." Is will be the title of that next arc. It's gonna be really heavily focused on some new villains, and it's gonna be my Empire Strikes Back of the trilogy that I'm doing.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be pretty dope. But for the time being, all of my focus has been on the trade paperback and the Indiegogo that's currently live now.
Okay. And I seen a stream that you did with Lori Calcaterra that you was going to turn the book into a soundtrack.
Yes, 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 indeed. So part of one of my perks for this particular campaign is going to be a soundtrack for the comic itself. Now, in this sound pack, it will be featuring, I'm not going to spoil anything what's in there, but it will be featuring some all original music from my music producer, Martine. Shout outs to him. It's going to be really cool, and it'll be a really cool little feature just to get a taste of all the music that's actually going to be featured in the book. I think it's going to be a nice little taste of the taste before we continue to produce even more music and create a full-on album.
Is this all original music?
Absolutely, good sir. Absolutely, no, no copyright claims here.
Yeah, right.
It will be all original music, and I couldn't be prouder of the work that we've done in regards to try to make this musical come to life. We've really put in a lot of hard work into the music, and it's come across very very well. I'm very very pleased with what we've put together.
To do like an audio book where you narrate it and have the music in the background.
Yeah, that might be in the works. That's definitely something that could be happening. A couple of people have thrown that idea my way of doing the audio book and getting some voice actors. And I mean, I voice act myself, but I'm not about to play everybody. So so it's definitely something that we could actually be pushing forward in the future, probably somewhere down the line probably after the next novel comes out. But we'll see. We'll see how that falls in play.
So, are you going to shop this around to publishers?
So this, and that's actually a very, very good question. So, I have gone through the traditional route of publishing, but it is absolute murder. I've gone through the route of looking for like a literary agent and stuff. Once again, murder. But I am in the midst of working out a deal overseas for a bookstore called Waterstone, which is like our equivalent would be Barnes and Noble, I
Okay.
guess, would be our equivalent. So I'm in the midst of actually working something out through a third party to actually get that running, and that's going to be really freaking sweet if we can get that deal done for this graphic novel to be published out there across the pond. Which apparently I have fans there. Who knew? Um, Yeah, so we got a little something something there in that regard. But as far as here in the States, we're still trying to kick that hornet's nest down.
Okay. Is it going to be in English when you send it over to Pawn, or are you going to
Yes.
translate it?
Yes, yes, yes. So this is going to be in English. Now, for those that remember, I did publish Treble in two languages, in Spanish and in English, which was a request by my artist Federico Corsini. Shout out to him, who was from Argentina and wanted to have a Spanish version for his own distribution if he wanted to do so. And I gave him permission to do so, and we worked that out, and we yeah, I got Spanish version. We do have a Spanish version the um of the singular issues, not the trade paperback. Trade paperback is in English. I am not about to go through that one translation and then another printing. Ain't no way in
Hmm.
this life or the next that that's gonna go down. But there is still available in Spanish if folks wanted to get it in Spanish. That'll be great. But for me, my primary audience are English speakers. So so I usually just focus on that. I mean, who knows what happens down the line, but for the time being, English is good enough.
Hmm. What's the furthest you sent a comic book so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. So it was definitely the furthest I probably have sent a comic is in the UK, definitely.
Okay.
In the UK to ugh, oh goodness. Like near Blackpool, England, near
All
there.
right.
Yeah, like near Blackpool, England. That was the furthest I've ever sent a book. That was the most costly shipping I've ever done in my life. And
I hear.
yeah, yeah, shipping over there across seas is ludicrous. It is ludicrous. For those that are looking to do business overseas, I suggest you find a printer that's over there because
Hmm.
printing it here and shipping it will cost you an arm, a leg, a kidney, a toe, name it. You're going to lose some body parts. So if somebody wants to do business out there, I would definitely suggest you find a printer out there. Um, yeah, yeah. Because I'm never doing that again. That was a mistake. It's a
I can
horrible mistake.
imagine.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
long did it take to get there?
It was relatively quick, all things considered. Because it is automatically priority mail when it comes to
Mm.
shipping across seas. It's not like a medium mail version of
Right.
going through customs and stuff. So I think it took about a week and a half, maybe
That's
about a
not
week and
bad
a
at
half.
all.
Yeah, maybe about a week and a half. Yeah. Week and a half it took to get over there, which is good, all things considered, timing wise. But there's no way I'll do it again. It's just no way. There's no way.
So, are you doing any book signings?
So, um, recently no, because I've been elbow deep in all this stuff. But coming next year, definitely, I'm definitely shooting to get my booth at AwesomeCon this year. For those that aren't familiar, that's the Comic Con for Washington D.C. For those that aren't familiar with the area, so I'm shooting for that, and that should be good. Especially if everything goes well with this campaign and stuff like that, definitely going to be doing that there. And if that goes well, I'll do Baltimore, which would be at the end of the comic book season. So if everything goes according to plan, so I'll probably two opportunities for signings, unless something private comes up, like something private. Like I like doing private ones personally. I really like doing those. I feel it's more intimate, but
Mhm.
if not, that's a shoot. I'm shooting for that. I'm shooting for Awesome Con, in the spring, April. Should be April this year. So I'll be shooting for that in the spring. So that should be cool.
And you've got your very own show on YouTube also, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Rule Playing Comics. I've been doing a whole lot of Media news lately, and still sprinkling some interviews with my fellow creatives here and there. Still going strong. Still, YouTube drives me absolutely crazy, but that's the part of the game. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having fun.
Hmm.
Dropping vids. I enjoy myself for doing it. There's always an audience to be had that wants to hear me rant and rave and go absolutely crazy on whatever's going on. So as long as there's people that'll keep hearing me, I'm gonna keep on dropping it. And it's been a beautiful thing to also help promote my comics and help promote my Indiegogo and any other things going on. So it's has its ups and downs, but it's definitely been a blessing all the same.
So, how long are you running your Indiegogo for?
So this Indiegogo will be running until New Year's. I think it's January 2nd will be when this Indiegogo ends. It's going to be a 60-day Indiegogo. It just launched on Friday, the third of November. It is launched on the 3rd of November. And I'm gonna run it till the wheels fall off. It's pretty, as the expression goes. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So 60 days. I know a lot of people like the 30, but I like stretching. I like stretching it out,
Hmm.
especially with the holiday season coming up. So definitely give myself some more windows of opportunity to get some funding here and there towards the end of the year.
Okay. Do you want to give them the elevator pitch of what Treble's about?
Absolutely. Oh, that's my favorite pitch of all time. You have to ask yourself, what would happen if music gave you superpowers? And that is exactly what this comic is all about. We follow our protagonist, Amir Green. He gets exposed to a mutagen. And once that mutagen fuses with his body, he begins to get abilities based on the genre of music that he listens to. Ooh, duh, lolly. And it's, and in my personal opinion, I think it was one of the most tremendous ideas that I came up with in quite some time. It focuses on the mental, emotional, and stereotypical effects that music has on the human body. So I had to do a little bit of research to get this thing cooking and making some logistical and science sense. Uh, this is a story that's an action adventure musical. It's fun for everybody. Anybody that was a fan of my era of watching Saturday morning cartoons or just going to your comic book store back in the day, you'll love it. If you're a fan of even like modern cartoons, modern DC, Marvel cartoons, you'll get a kick out of this. It's really it's like a homage to multiple years and generations of comic greatness. And I think everybody would definitely enjoy it, and I think everybody will get a kick out of it and find some very interesting characters they'll find themselves being emotionally connected to. So yeah, I think everyone will really enjoy this book.
All right. What, how many genres are you exploring in your comic book?
So in this one, we tackle five. I didn't want to do too many, so it doesn't overwhelm not only the audience but myself.
Right.
So this this series, this arc tackles five. You'll be very surprised of the five that were chosen in this arc when folks check this one out. And I think a lot of folks will be surprised of the abilities that these particular music genres um, are providing our titular hero. I think everyone will get a kick out of it.
All right. If if you could have a superpower based on music, which one would you pick? What
Ooh,
genre?
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I would definitely have to pick. Ooh, now that makes my head hurt a little bit because no one's ever asked me that before. Jeez. So I like so many different genres of music. So I would, if I had to pick just one, I would pick uh like rap and hip hop. It's one of my favorite genres of all time. It's a genre that I grew up with, and I would give myself the ability to. It's insane. Um, so so rap and hip hop to me is always tough, hard. gangster. So I would always have a body of armor, but at the same time, I would like to flex a little bit and be able to project some of the armor that I produce to create other metal objects like a sword or a shield or something cool like that. I think that would be really really dope, and I think that would change things up for me. I'd like that a lot. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Or like a skin like Colossus,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly, exactly, and I think that will be freaking sweet. It'll be tremendous, and I mean, granted, I won't be able to swim very well, but but it would still be pretty dope. So yeah, if I had to pick one like that, I think that's the way I would roll with it.
Okay. So dead or alive, who would you like to make a comic book with?
Oh boy. So alive, Frank Miller. Definitely, I'd like to make a comic book with Frank Miller. And heck, I'll go for a local contemporary, Eric July as well. I'd like to do something with him, and that's actually might actually be humanly possible. So because that's actually something that's achievable. I can actually talk to the guy.
Hmm.
Now, dead. Now that's a good one. Whew. I want to say Bob Kane. I would like to say Bob Kane just to see where his mind was at the time when he created Batman, which is my favorite character of all time. Um, and to see, especially during that time, because those original stories are the ones we all emulate today.
Hmm.
So to actually reach into the mind of one of the original folks that came up with our modern myths, I would love to sit down and just pick his brain to sit there with him and just be like, "Yo, how the heck did you come up with it?" Like teach me your ways. And so yeah, I think that would be it. I think that would be my dead or alive list. Bob Kane, I think, is the guy I would pick. I think that would be really good.
Or just to watch him draw, I think would be awesome.
Oh,
You
I'll sit
know?
there for hours. I'll sit there for hours. I might have to kidnap him and just be like, "Hey, look, just do stuff. Just do stuff for
Right.
hours. I'm gonna just sit there. I'm gonna just watch you. I'm just watch you. I'll feed you. Just keep doing what
Hmm.
you're doing."
I think
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
yeah. I think that would be really cool. To see those craftsmen at work during that time period, because God knows how their minds worked, because our minds don't work like theirs. So it's something to just come up with which will be considered our modern myths is crazy. And it's just like if you went back 1,000 years ago, like who was the guy that came up with like Greco-Roman gods or whoever, whatever the case may be. Like where's that guy? I want to sit with him because obviously these folks have come up with some really really intense stuff that has affected everything since then. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I think that's my list. My list I think is pretty solid. I'll roll with it.
Okay. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah. First, before I start pimping all my stuff out, Cody, you were one of the first people I ever interviewed with. When I first released Treble, to be back on your show again is a huge honor. Uh, you've always been a huge supporter of my work. I still have your plaque that you've given me for one of the best comics that you had come across for that year. Um, like with you and Kari and stuff, like you all have been supporters of me for many many years, and it's really really great to just be back on your show again and talk with you again. And I don't know what it means to you, but it means a lot to me to be back sitting here and talking with you after all this time, and that we still got the bond going after all these years, and this is really good. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for having me back on. I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, man, that means a lot. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, time to pimp myself. So Travel the River Within Indiegogo is live. I'm sure Cody will put it in the description section below. Definitely check it out. It has been a labor of love. Please support it if you can. Even if you can't, please share it. Share it everywhere on social media. I'm trying to spread this thing out like butter on toast. So absolutely, I appreciate your support in that regards. Also, hit me up on social media at DeBrute00 on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram if I'm actually looking at it, TikTok. and all that great stuff. I'd love to hear from you all, and especially with those that have maybe checked out my work. I'd love to hear your feedback. I've gotten a lot of feedback over the years, a lot of it positive, some not. But I would love to still hear what you guys think, and because that's why I do what I do. I do it for the fans. I do it for people that love the genre. I do it for the people that love the indies. I do it for the people that love comic books. So yeah, so love me or you hate me. I would love to hear from you, and that's about it.
All right. Appreciate you taking the time to come talk with me.
Oh, the pleasure is mine, my brother. Anytime, anytime.
What? You mean you haven't subscribed to Comic Chat Authority? Oh, come on. Subscribe already. What are you waiting for? It's no big deal. Like, man, don't forget to tell him to hit that like button. Yeah, that too. Just subscribe.